We all know that life on Earth can be pretty rough sometimes. So what if we had a backup plan in case things got too bad? Like, say, an abandoned planet just waiting for us to move in. It's not that far-fetched of an idea. Just ask Elon Musk. The SpaceX CEO has said time and time again that he wants to establish a self-sustaining city on Mars by 2050. But what if we made Mars our new home sooner? What would life be like if humans lived on Mars? It's me, and you're watching this channel. Join with me today as we explore the red planet and answer the extraordinary question, what if humans lived on Mars? To answer this question, let's imagine that it's the year 2030 and your old Uncle Elon has just about finished his first phase of his master plan. 1 million people now live on Mars thanks to SpaceX's fleet of reusable Starship rockets. They've brought enough supplies from Earth to make life on Mars possible, and the planet is now habitable. So what's the first thing you'd notice if you stepped out onto the surface of Mars? Probably the thin atmosphere. The air pressure on Mars is less than 1% of Earth's, which means that if you were to step outside without a spacesuit, you would feel like you were 30,000 feet up in the sky back on Earth. And since there's no ozone layer on Mars, the thin atmosphere doesn't filter out any of the sun's radiation. But the biggest challenge you'd face living on Mars is probably the lack of water. There may be ice on the planet's poles and beneath its surface, but it's extremely unlikely that there's any clean drinking water on the surface of Mars. This means that every drop of water on the planet would have to be imported from Earth. In the future, it might be possible to mine asteroids for water too. In terms of gravity, Mars is only slightly less powerful than Earth's gravity, so you wouldn't feel too strange walking around on the planet. However, since there's no magnetic field on Mars to speak of, the gravity actually pulls Earth's orbit just a little bit closer each year. So eventually Mars will start ripping chunks out of our atmosphere. Not good. Since we're already talking about the possibility of life on Mars, we might as well take this simulation a step further and imagine that humanity has been living on the planet for a few hundred years. How advanced would Martian society be? For hundreds of years, humans have been growing crops in Martian soil, which is rich in iron oxide, or rust. Eventually, the soil becomes completely depleted of nutrients, and we have to turn to more extreme measures. We could use hydroponic or aeroponic farming to grow food, which doesn't require soil at all. With these methods, plants are grown either in water or in the air, which is much easier than trying to farm on Mars's rusty soil. Living on Mars would also likely give us some cool superpowers. Since there's so little gravity on the planet, we could develop the ability to jump really high. Kids would be playing basketball by dunking from half court. Living in low gravity might also give us an extra boost of height too. On the downside though, bone density would decrease and we'd probably all be a lot weaker. Many scientists think that a generation or two of low gravity living on Mars would cause humanity to evolve into a race of giants. And how would you get around on Mars? Most likely we'd keep our trusty rovers from the first few manned missions to Mars. But I like to imagine that we'd also develop some sort of hovercraft-like vehicle to get around. No roads or wheels required. So would you like to live on Mars? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss more fun science and tech stories from us. Thanks for watching.